To Villa Park, looking to win, to hit the top of the Premier League tonight. There's the whistle from Simon Hooper, the referee. It is Aston Villa who get us underway. The ball fired forward from them towards the edge of the Manchester City penalty area, and the champions have got the ball back deep inside their own defensive third. Villa in the claret and blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks with the white tops, and Manchester City wearing this lurid yellowy green and grey striped shirts with the grey socks and the yellow grey shorts, yellow socks. Villa on the attack with a cross from the left hand side from Digne. Just took a little flick off a City head which carried it out to the far side, and Manchester City have got the ball back inside their own half. So it is Aston Villa against Manchester City on 5 Live. Listen as well via BBC Sounds, and Michael Brown's going to be watching it with me. Premier League midfielder, played here many times. Michael.
Yeah, it's a great stadium. The atmosphere started well, and so have Aston Villa. He's got a lovely left foot. Digne putting the ball into a dangerous area. But here come Manchester City now on the break.
Here they go with De Bruyne. He's the man back in the team, plays it infield. Kyle Walker's involved in the attack as well. He's 30 yards out. Back to De Bruyne it goes. Now the ball over the top to the left hand side. Foden gets it to ground. Gundogan. Manchester City already in their stride just outside the Villa penalty area after their 6 goals in midweek against Nottingham Forest. But that pass forward from Walker is cut out, and Villa can clear through McGinn. I'll run you through the teams in full in a moment or two. It's interesting to see what Villa are doing in midfield, because Steven Gerrard for this one has brought back in Douglas Luiz after they held off Arsenal in the transfer window, so he's back in the team, and Buendia therefore is on the bench. So neither Buendia nor Coutinho start this match here, but in that midfield, Michael.
Yeah, it's a big call, isn't it, for the manager? He obviously wants physicality straight away, trying to turn Manchester City around.
City with Ederson, who just comes out of his penalty area and chips the ball out to the far side, where Cancelo couldn't keep it in under pressure, and it's a throw in to Villa. So it looks as though that midfield has got...
It's a 3, yeah. It looks like it's a 3, whether Ramsey will play as the diamond in that 10 position, but as the City have good possession, he'll go as a narrow 3 with the 2 strikers. At the moment in the position he's just trying to filter around in the back of Rodri, so maybe a different role for Ramsey, how he fits into it, and we'll soon see. But Luiz to the right hand side of the 3 and McGinn to the left.
Yeah, it does look like a midfield diamond that Villa are playing in this match, with Camara at the base of that, then Douglas Luiz on the right, McGinn on the left, and Jacob Ramsey behind Leon Bailey and Ollie Watkins, the front 2. The back 4, Cash, Konza, Mings and Digne, with Martinez in goal.
See, normally when you see a diamond, your number 10 would be on the holding midfield player, where it's actually slightly different. They've gone to a 3 out of possession, so let's see how they cope with it. It might allow things to stay narrow. Manchester City, Jack Cancelo, Kyle Walker to go a lot further.
Well, that's asking quite a lot, isn't it, tactically, of his team, Steven Gerrard today.
And the 2 wider players, McGinn, I've played there many times, Douglas Luiz, it's a really tough one that you've got to get out and help your fullbacks. You've got to get back inside, narrow it off, demanding for those 2 notably. Yeah,
the City team is easier to work out in terms of its formation. City with it on the right hand side, De Bruyne going back to the halfway line. So just one change from City from midweek. Thought there might be more with Champions League approaching. Here's Bernardo Silva through to Gundogan, turns it into the path of Walker, who steadies himself and blasts it wide. Went for goal. He had every right to in that position, although there was a big Norwegian waiting on the edge of the 6-yard box he might have used.
Well, there was. It was a great move, just little round the corners, and that's what I said, different today. City's fullbacks might be able to go all the way. It could have been offside. It was so tight. He's got to hope it's offside. Kyle Walker, as he steadies himself, he has a long time to think about it. Just right, the 6-yard area, he goes for power, and should he goes near post, we see it back, slashes at it, slices it across into right behind the goal. He'd be disappointed with it.
Yeah, ended up in the hold end, the lower part of the hold end, and he really did steady himself. He set himself, his sights were on scoring that goal, but I guess probably his sights.
Slight nosebleed for him. He's not often in there, is he? He hasn't this season, especially the slight change, but I'm going to give him a little bit of stick for that, I'm sure.
I bet you do. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. I sense you're in one of your mischievous moods today.
It sort of made me smile in some ways, if I'm honest.
Yeah, mind you, when are you not in a mischievous mood? 4 minutes played, It's Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0, and it is City with the ball inside their own half. They should be 1-0 up, City, who've got an excellent recent record against Aston Villa. They've won their last 9 matches in all competitions, and actually 12 of the last 13 against Villa. But I have seen a number of these matches, and the last 2 here, I know that we were at least one of them together. The last 2 here have been 2-1 wins for Manchester City, so narrow wins, and of course the match right at the end of last season, that dramatic game on the final Sunday when City eventually emerged 3-2 winners.
Villa did so well in that game. Obviously it looked like Manchester City weren't going to come through. The man who plays today, Ilkay Gundogan, we've seen what he did, and drama. Are we going to see anything like it? City going to Newcastle, wonderful away game, was the last one. They'll want to keep a clean sheet, but let's see what Villa can do. Scoring's not being key for them.
Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0 in the Premier League, but the first of the 100 finals is over. With you at Lord's, Henry Moran.
Oval Invincibles make it back-to-back titles. They've chased down 102 with 6 balls to spare. Emily Windsor cutting the ball to the boundary to seal the deal in front of a record 20,000 strong crowd here at the home of cricket. Next up, the men's final. It'll be the Manchester Originals against the Trent Rockets at 6:45.
Yep, and you'll hear it on Sports Extra, on Radio 5 Sports Extra, on your digital radio and via BBC Sounds, or you can watch it on BBC 2 tonight if you're heading home, or indeed if you're not heading home, because you can watch it on your device wherever you are. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0, and we'll have more reaction to what's been a really busy afternoon actually, if you've been listening to us, with Ian Dennis at Stamford Bridge alongside Tony Pulis, all of the goals flying in. So we'll have more interviews at half time as De Bruyne hits a long pass from inside his own half, but Martinez comes forward and it bounces through behind for a goal kick. And David Moyes will be one of those managers we hear at half time, and you can just imagine how he will feel. We've already had Thomas Tuchel on live, but controversy, as you'll have heard, surrounding Chelsea's victory, VAR controversy. So Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Villa just the 1 win in the Premier League so far this season, the narrow home win against Everton here, and Manchester City unbeaten in the league, dropped only 2 points, and if they win here they will go back above Arsenal at the top of the table tonight.
Just watching Villa trying to play out too, holding midfield players, trying to go the edge of the area, 2 centre-half split, full-backs high, but they weren't really convincing in what they wanted to do. They didn't try and play past City's press and ended up going along with Walker won the header and the ball comes back. Now they're just giving City that momentum. I think they've got to be a little bit braver.
City team here tonight: Ederson in goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz and Cancelo, Rodri in the middle, De Bruyne, Gundogan to the left, and then Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden in the wide positions, with that man Erling Haaland through the middle. 9 goals in 5 Premier League appearances. A brilliant start, and today, if he gets a hat-trick today and was
the last time that was done, was it similar to when you were born? It was something like that, wasn't it? It was quite some time ago.
It's just a little bit before that, Michael. It's 1946.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise it was that.
The last time that anyone scored hat-tricks in 3 successive English top-flight league matches.
Do you think he can do it, John? Do you know?
I do. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, good start so far. It's all on the team performance. It's he's another opportunity for him now.
Here's Gundogan now to the right hand side to De Bruyne, 22 yards out, shoots wide. that was a foot wide, less than a foot.
And it's amazing strike, isn't it? Straight away, the play through the midfield, drop it short, the sets are good. Guy Gundogan very knowledgeable. Kevin De Bruyne coming on top of it, but he hits it so well. 25 yards, pulls the ball across. Martinez diving to the right, and actually if you watch the steward just behind the post, you realise how quick the ball had gone. He just managed to fall out of the way. A real good opportunity, great strike from Kevin De Bruyne.
To further answer your question, Michael, if Aston Villa continue to allow City opportunities like they have already to Walker and there to De Bruyne, then Erling Haaland has got every chance to get a hat-trick in this game, because sooner or later he's going to be on the end of some of those. Well, Villa coming forward, defending the huge hold end in the first half. McGinn is just impeded centrally, and it's I beg your pardon, free kick to Manchester City after little foul from Kamara. and City take it to Bernardo Silva on the right hand side, and Bernardo Silva's already moving down the right, comes inside, and then there's a back heel flick to De Bruyne near the white line on the right, and then Rodri sweeps it over the top to Foden, miscontrols it inside the penalty area, and therefore Cash can clear.
They switched the ball very, very well, City. It was that narrow back four from Villa, Phil Foden advancing, and actually the switch was on, and he gets it inside the penalty area onto his left foot. Touch wasn't great, but it tells you how narrow that back four was. They're all pressing Villa back four.
Villa have to defend this, but it comes out to Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva finds the pass to the left hand side, and it's worked back across by Gundogan, but just intercepted crucially to prevent it from reaching Phil Foden, and Camara puts it behind for a corner.
I think you understand that, don't you, why you want to be narrow, your midfield is in front of you, stop that supply. That's where City are really good, though, the runs, because they've got such good possession. Okay, Gundogan, we know he can do it really well. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, and Kevin De Bruyne just stepping onto it. Once you force them back, the space is there for him to step in and get those shots away.
Just feel it's absolutely crucial for Villa to get through this opening period without conceding. Still 0-0. Here's the first corner, the City corner, delivered to the penalty spot, but Tyrone Mings was up powerfully and unchallenged was able to head it firmly away. Comes out, Bernardo Silva whips it back in. There's another header away on the edge of the box for Villa, and then Cancelo over the top down the left. Foden hooks it back on the volley, but Martinez, the goalkeeper, comes and catches it for Villa.
Can you notice a difference in the trend for City today? It's a little bit quicker, a little bit more direct on the switches of play because they're narrow. So the Villa, their setup are making City change, but you do feel it's a little bit too much room.
Ball is played back to Martinez. It's really interesting to see what the mood was like at Villa Park today, bearing in mind the results that Villa have suffered this season, and the fact that, going back into last season, they've taken 12 points from their last 16 league matches, so just 3 wins in that time. And clearly Steven Gerrard admits it himself. He knows that he is a manager under pressure, even though he's only been in charge since last November, less than a year in charge here at Villa Park.
I think that's the difficulty, isn't it? You see a lot of money being spent trying to develop a good team, but the pressure increases here because of the lack of success. But you've got to be really cautious with your next step if you want to change things.
City winning it back from Villa on the halfway line, just stabbed back to John Stones, who gives it to his right to Kyle Walker, who looks up, and then it's angled back to him by Rodri. 0-0, still very early stages here at an overcast Villa Park, grey skies above, but high clouds, no danger of rain yet, unlike in Glasgow earlier. I was listening to the Old Firm derby where it was raining quite heavily, I think, at Celtic Park. Here's Stones again. City still inside their own territory. Stones just delays and then plays it forward, comes back to Cancelo, the new number 7 this season. Cancelo, he's got ideas. Well, they're not above his station because he's such a good footballer. To the left back wearing number 7, and then that's a misplaced pass from Gundogan, doesn't find Foden, and it's out of play for a throw into Villa on the far side.
I think he knows he's going to be a threat going forward. I think that just tells you everything, doesn't it? The quality passes, finishes that he's got.
Martinez, a long ball over the top from the Villa goalkeeper. Stones is after it, but sees it carefully and comfortably back to his goalkeeper with his head. John Stones not been absolutely in the best of form so far this season. Hopefully, I think from a City point of view, playing his way back into form.
I think he's had a few problems as well, John. Just
De Bruyne
right.
Crossing from the right. Oh, and it is just missed by Gundogan, who was powering into the box. It bounced up waist height. He jumped after it, but just couldn't get a contact. Otherwise, that would have been in the net.
You give this guy some space. If anybody wants to see this clip, you realise when you're listening to it is what type of ball is. It's the Kevin De Bruyne ball that goes right in between. The timing of the run, Gundogan was brilliant, just couldn't get there.
No, it was inches. Kyle Walker had that early opportunity, went for goal, could have laid it into the path of Haaland, hit it wide. Kevin De Bruyne shot, that was narrowly wide from outside the D. And then that one there, I mean, Gundogan must have been so close to getting a touch.
But why is he not getting marked in that run? I know there's no pressure on the ball from Kevin De Bruyne, but it's the midfielder. If I'm one of the midfielders, I've got to get goal side to him, or my centre back, or the right back. I've got to see that run coming or to close it in.
Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Still Austria 0, England 1 in the Women's World Cup qualifier in Austria that started at 4:30. As I mentioned, the cricket's on Sports Extra. We'll have commentary from the US Open. That's via the BBC Sport website. It was all happening there last night with Serena Williams. It was a real moment in sporting history. I felt that speech that she gave after losing. Here's Stones playing it back into his own half. So yeah, the BBC Sport website and app for the US Open commentary with our team in New York. Just search for the tennis pages of the BBC website. Still City with the ball deep inside their own territory. Passed out to Walker. Villa are sitting off City though.
They're missing Erling Haaland out quite a lot. Do you know, I think, when you talk about his goals and his returns being so good so far, when do they start bringing him into play a little bit more? Is this an understanding? Is it always going to be like this, that he doesn't always want to get involved with the build-up or interfere too much? You see, he just drifts away, circulates around, then comes alive.
Villa with Mings now forward to Watkins, and Watkins takes it down. Stones is tight with his England colleague, and then Rodri bounces into him, and Watkins stumbled over there, and referee Hooper has actually brought it back, I think, for initial foul that he wasn't going to give.
But he played advantage. So what do you do in that situation?
Well,
because
I presume
he's played the next phase, he's stood up, he's waited.
Not over.
We watch it back now. As he gets back up, he's in control, then he slips himself. He should have given the foul the first time for me.
Yeah. 0-0. Free kick to Villa, and Digne is going to take this. We know how dangerous he is, and Villa have put two men 10 yards beyond the back line, the high Manchester City back line. Digne takes this. He's looking for Mings. Mings gets his head to it. A header from Ramsey, but he had his back to the penalty area. He had City players around him, and it was easily cleared away by the champions.
Just creates a little bit of uncertainty. You know the delivery is going to be good. Mings attacks it really well as the City defence just dropped back on top of it. They become active. Unfortunately, I think it was well worked.
Out of play for a throw-in now to City in their own right back position. So this is the 5:30 Saturday Premier League kick-off for you on 5 Live, as it will be for the foreseeable future. If you haven't clocked that yet, every time there is one of these Saturday 5:30 kick-offs, you'll hear the commentary here on 5 Live for at least the next 3 seasons. Mings, the ball spun away from him just on the halfway line. He was looking to play it back to Martinez, but he delayed, and in that moment the ball bounced, spun out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City.
As expected, full possession for City, creating, moving people around and waiting for Aston Villa to get a couple of passes, to get some sort of movement going. They haven't really been involved. They're going to sit off City for long periods. I understand why that's going to be the case, but we were expecting some balls in behind, not just into Watkins' feet.
Yeah, and this Villa formation, the tactics are interesting. It is 4-3-3, but then everyone's expected to get back when City are in possession. Rodri bringing it forward, and there is Pep Guardiola for the first time that I've noticed since the start of the match, out from underneath the top of that Perspex dugout and up onto the side of the pitch. White shirt today, sleeves rolled up, olive green kite trousers, and pristine white trainers. City, his team, with Walker on the right hand side. Guardiola standing with his hands on his hips as Walker plays it infield to the substantial figure of Rodri, who under pressure from Ramsey goes back into his own half, and then Stones returns it to goalkeeper Ederson. So let's get another update from Shojo Saka, who's watching the pictures of England's World Cup qualifier in Austria.
Still Austria 0, England 1, John. The England keeper Mary Earps was pressed really high on her 6-yard line at the beginning of the second half. Almost caught out, and it dribbled just past her post. She has made just a flying save though from Laura Firesinger and redeemed herself. England with several long-range chances. Still Austria 0, England 1.
Shot from Cancelo on the edge of the area for Manchester City. Catches a Villa man. Took it wider of goal, but it's a corner to City. Michael Brown.
Yeah, good pressure again. You can hear the City supporters to our left-hand side getting behind the team. The opening just fell to Gian Cancelo, tried to get it away, but now set piece is what's going to be good. The delivery of Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland just on the edge of the 6-yard area central.
Makes a run to the near post. De Bruyne's corner goes deep, and then Cancelo hits a bouncing shot that actually bounced up into the the path of Digne, who was able to head it away for Aston Villa, and that's a poor pass from Walker near the centre circle. He's overhit it way above the head of De Bruyne, out of play for a throw into Villa halfway inside their own half.
Yeah, he's trying to sting a big diagonal right out to the left hand side. He possibly could have used an easy pass, but City trying to make that advantage, sucked everybody in. Cancelo into the back post, the corner kick, hits the volley well, good header away, but was creative from City.
Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. So City yet to strike, even though they've had 3 good opportunities, or come close 3 times, let's say. Here's Walker, turns and gives it back into a centre circle. City with an avalanche of goals at the start of this season, 6 in midweek, 4 against Palace last weekend, although they were 2-0 down, remember. Here is Foden, takes it down on the left hand side. Foden supposed to take it away, back up the line, gives it infield to Rodri, then square to Walker, who gets it under control, but then passes it into the path of Digne, who anticipated that and then was caught by Bernardo Silva, who'd gone to ground. So it's a free kick to Villa halfway inside their own half.
It's like one bad ball from Walker, then an incredible pass out to the left hand side, and the next one he's give a short pass, give it away. So needs to do better with his distribution, but and just a little foul. Digne falling away. We might have an injury here for Aston Villa. All the medical staff come on, a little bit of concern for them.
Yeah, Villa man who's down near the edge of the box. Is it Cash? I think it is, isn't it? Who's sat down. And so the Villa players are quickly across, as are the City players now as well, to pick up the water bottles. And Steven Gerrard is there. He's talking to Tyrone Mings. That's the main man. That's the main message from the manager.
Pep's pushing John Stones, telling him, demanding what he wants from the defence, and more discussions go. All the medical staff, coaching staff, everybody up, whether it be drinks, tactics, all below us, and that little bit of detail in. But it is a worry when they're into the Cash's hamstring. There's a stretch going on right above his head as he lays down.
Yeah, that's a concern for Matty Cash. Really important player for Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa side. And now Gerrard continues to give instructions. It's Leon Bailey who is being spoken to now. He's been very quiet actually in the early stages. Leon Bailey. Cash still receiving treatment on what looks like, I mean, it could be cramped.
Looks like he's going to go. They're saying get going.
Right. So left hamstring.
See Young, possibly.
Well, it's Ashley Young who's really stepped up, is warming up down there.
Steven Gerrard just giving them out. Yeah, Ashley Young is the one. I think he's getting him ready. He gave him the nod. He said, on you go, get a little bit more sprints, more exercises just to warm yourself up, because you could be going right into this, and it's going to be interesting, isn't it? If he goes back on it right back, you can imagine these City supporters down the left hand side, and we're going to give him a bit of stick.
Yes, they
certainly he'll love that.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. 37 years old now, Ashley Young. And as well, Michael, you mentioned Pep Guardiola. You said he's pushing John Stones. I mean, that was literally, whenever you see him,
pushing him on his shoulder.
Yeah, actually, he had grip on his elbow, pushing him on his shoulder. John Stones, who's probably been there many times, sort of half turned his back on him, was looking over his shoulder, sort of trying to listen to him.
He was just digging his heels and getting his core ready so he doesesn't get pushed over as the manager.
He looked like
but he did it to Erling Haaland as well.
Yeah. But John Stones looked like he was in the front seat of the taxi to Pep Guardiola. So where was it you wanted to go to? Is this it? But he is an absolute bundle of energy, isn't he, Pep Guardiola?
Yeah.
Just contracted to the end of this season, remember?
It's really interesting. You see Ashley Young just running in now. They're making the decision. What do they do? As his bib comes off, he's going to get...
Well, Matty Cash over there has actually stepped back onto the pitch, because I think they're trying to make this change before the game resumes. I mean, that's a long stoppage. 23 minutes played. That must be a couple of minutes.
It's risk to reward now. Do you know when you've got that muscle injury, do you think, right, do I do that now? We're playing Manchester City. We talked about early, didn't we, about the games that are coming up for Aston Villa. What does he do? He won't want to lose him. He's back on the pitch. They've got to be very, very careful.
He has, but Ashley Young is going to come on, and I can see Cash. He is already putting his hand on the back of his left leg, and Ashley Young is getting himself ready very, very quickly. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Play is now back underway. City with the ball inside their own half. to Foden on the left-hand side. Foden's ball whipped across, but that was cut out by Konza on the edge of the penalty area. Comes back at Villa though. Foden again in possession, angles it back more centrally to Rodri, and then square. De Bruyne beats McGinn in the challenge and then clips it right across the penalty area. Foden chasing. I don't think it'll even go out. It curls back into the full-back area. Foden with the ball at his feet. There's the run from Cancelo. He wanted it. Cancelo, he was annoyed. You could tell from the body language he didn't receive it from Foden.
But why doesn't Phil Foden run at Cash now? Give him the ball, run at him. He's got an injury. Go through, test him out, see what he's just gone safe, gone back. No, I don't get that.
No. And City go back again to the halfway line. Right here it is with City again on the left-hand side, but they go infield. Cancelo goes infield to De Bruyne. And then a stretch from Rodri back to the halfway line to Diaz.
If they're trying to make this substitution, Young's ready. Cash needs to just go down.
Sit down.
Get it done. Make sure they don't, obviously, concede a goal at this point now. It's a strange decision.
Yeah, and Bernardo Silva playing it across. I mean, it must, obviously, it's clearly borderline whether he's able to continue or not. But, I mean, Young is ready to come on. Here's De Bruyne on the left-hand side now with the cross. Hits Cash, bounces off his shins and bounces behind for a corner. And now let's see.
He's put his hand up. Yeah. He's just put his hand up and said, let's do it. But I think it was obvious he was going to do it, but they continued to play. That could have been so costly if City were more clinical down that left-hand side.
Yeah, let's do it. Cash is off. And while that takes place, let's get an update from New York. Russell Fuller are you watching Cameron Norrie, Russell?
Hello John, yes, he's 2 sets to love up in the third round against 19-year-old Holger Rune, who nearly recovered from 2 breaks of serve down in that second set after a visit from the doctor, but Norrie's won it 7-5, 6-4 he leads, and Rune, the angry young man of the tour, seems to be complaining that Norrie is almost taking too long to serve.
Okay, thank you. Commentary, BBC Sport website. City take the corner, it's cleared by Villa, then it's played back in by Cancelo, trying to play it to the back post to Foden, but Foden lost out there in the challenge. Ashley Young having come on now for his third appearance of the season, the 37-year-old club captain as he is now, and he is playing as the right back.
He had a great welcome, didn't he, from the Manchester City supporters. But you know, this is a big test for him. Phil Foden obviously going to be attacking him. Jack Cancelo, how do you come into a game like this? He's got that experience, but we'll soon see how he gets on.
So it is still 0-0 here at Villa Park on 5 Live. But Shojo Osaka has news of another goal in the World Cup qualifier.
Austria 0, England 2. England well on their way to the World Cup. It's substitute Nikita Paris, played through by Georgia Stanway, and she put it into the net with a thumping finish. Austria 0, England 2.
Thank you, Shojo. So still 0-0 here, but Ashley Young coming on. Big loss, Matty Cash. He's being applauded all the way around. He's walked round in front of the Holt end, and now he's just arriving in front of the Villa dugout, and of course we'll walk on past that, I would have thought, to head to the dressing rooms. He does. Stephen Gerrard just comes out and asks him how he is, what he reckons, what he thinks. The two of them still talking together. He's got a bottle of water, and then off he goes now, and here's the applause in front of us for the injured Cash.
Yeah, it might be a little bit high. I don't know if he just pointed, I might be wrong, he might have pointed towards his groin area or just underneath, but that will be a concern. You wouldn't imagine him coming off unless he feels something. He tried it, and then he put his arm up and said no more.
No, and of course he's got World Cup ambitions as well, don't forget, as Villa played through the middle, and then Ramsey, there were shouts, feeling that he might have had his shirt pulled by Rodri, but play continues, and then Walker is able to intercept the pass that was
there was a shirt pull, wasn't there? That lot they weren't happy with. Ramsey's turn in, does really well, tries to get down the left hand side as Walker outstretches. He's now Walker just stretching his groin as he got caught in the ground, both fullbacks.
Yeah, yes he is. He might just have a little problem there, Kyle Walker. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Villa inside the City half. Ramsey turns it in field but passes it straight into Rodri, who will just tap it back to the goalkeeper. Yeah, Kyle Walker now stretching. That doesn't look great. Sevilla on Tuesday. Sevilla away. Oh, that's a lovely pass through the middle looking for Haaland, but Martinez right out to the edge of the penalty area. Cancelo with one of those outside of the boot passes.
We've not seen too many yet, have we, this season? But last year I think we've seen some Great passes, a wonderful effort. And I'm thinking, is it borderline? He just waits, doesn't he? Right on the edge of the area as we see it back.
Martinez.
It's a big risk as Martinez thinking, is he outside the area?
That was closer than I thought. And he's grabbed it just as it rolled over the white line on the edge of the box. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Here's Bailey on the left-hand side. We've seen little or nothing of Villa coming forward yet. Buendia and Coutinho both on the bench. Danny Ings is there as well. But this is
some players who can score, haven't they?
They have.
And that's the difference. We haven't seen Bale.
City break though over the halfway line, but De Bruyne runs into claret and blue, and now Villa come forward. And that's more like the sound of Villa Park, but they come forward, but they're cut out by Rodri and Gundogan. Both Villa players are left on the ground who were involved in that attack, and instead it's Manchester City now with Bernardo Silva on the right hand side. Watkins puts in a challenge, he's running at Digne, works it inside. Rodri under pressure, lifts it to Foden, he brings it down, a touch pass with his left instep to Gundogan. Now Haaland back more centrally to Rodri. De Bruyne then goes back to Cancelo over on the left hand side. So fluent Manchester City. And then Kyle Walker, who we're just keeping an eye on. I think he's okay. Walker in possession again inside his own half. Yeah, again, just as he makes that pass, just there is a movement with his hand towards his groin, and again, he's definitely not right.
No, he felt it as he stretched, but City circulating the ball, move you around one side to another, everybody available. Brilliant to watch. So difficult for Aston Villa to come out and step in and nick it and finally get it.
Manchester City champions in 4 of the last 5 seasons, attempting again to become the first team to win the Premier League 3 times in a row since Alex Ferguson's Manchester United team. Here's Rodri playing it back to the left hand side. Gundogan then goes back into his own half. Gundogan, the new Manchester City captain after the departure of Fernandinho in the summer. It was a players' vote that resulted in Gundogan taking over the armband. Senior man, though, I mean, that must have been. Do you know what the result of that vote was, Michael? You know one or two things that go on at Manchester City?
Sure, be able to tell me, John. You must have it.
Walker, long ball forward from him, but Martinez comes out to the edge of the penalty area and makes the catch. I mean, he was Guardiola's first signing, wasn't he? Or the first signing since after Guardiola took over as manager.
You do know they live next door as well, don't you?
Yeah, do you know, I'd forgotten that. Yeah. I had forgotten that, but that has reminded me.
Yeah.
It was a democratic process, Michael.
No, I just said you do know as well that they live next door to each other. Good relationship. Listen, he's a brilliant pro, isn't he? Yeah, wonderful player. City fans, when he first come, were wondering what he does, how does he contribute. Well, roll it on a couple of years and they're soon seeing what he brings to the side.
Yeah, and he's one of those people as well in football who, if you're doing the interviews after a match, which I am today incidentally, if you see Ilkay Gundogan being brought in, you always think, well, I'm on safe ground here. Here is McGinn, and then it's lost in centre field by Kamara, but then City can't take advantage, and there's a deal of waving of arms there from De Bruyne, and Haaland through the middle, who just trots after the ball, which is in the hands of Martinez, and Foden on the left.
I hope we get some more talking points for your interviews afterwards and the questions that you're going to bring, so we'll soon see. We'll discuss that later on.
If we don't, I'll keep it brief, Michael.
No problem.
Villa with the ball at the back. Mings has to turn away from Bernardo Silva and then gives it to Martinez, who was on the stretch with City and De Bruyne not far away, and then played it out to the right hand side, and Konza just stabbed it out of play for a City throw. That initially came from that pass from Mings, who was under pressure from Bernardo Silva. Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Just over 10 minutes to go to half time, so you'll hear from David Moyes at half time after West Ham's 2-1 defeat at Chelsea. Chelsea coming from a goal down to win. We've already heard live from Thomas Tuchel in Sports Report today. Tottenham 2-1 winners against Fulham. So Tottenham, if you look at the Premier League table, are currently in second place above Manchester City. City with the ball with Bernardo Silva on the right hand side. Bernardo Silva up against Digne, but goes inside, plays it square, sliding interception, took it away from De Bruyne. Douglas Luiz was in there as well, but Rodri plays it to the left. Now here's Cancelo again. Cancelo running at Bailey, still going onto his left foot. Cancelo's ball across, that hits Ashley Young. Still City though. Cancelo's ball to the near post, too close to Martinez, the goalkeeper, who's able to drop on it.
To keep it Pemmed in so well, City. As soon as the ball goes short, they lose it, they're back on top of it. It's a great little 1-2 there, wasn't it? Just fizzed across the box. Phil Foden recovering from his teammate. João Cancelo coming tight. There might be a chance Foden wins it, but at that point he made that decision. Villa have to be better on the ball.
City putting pressure on Villa again. I mean, it feels like most of the match is being played in the Villa defensive third, certainly in the Villa half. And now Konza does well actually to win a throw-in with a deflection. So again, if you have just got back into your cars, maybe you were at a match this afternoon, popped in for a pint, and then are back in the car again now, as well as the wins for Chelsea and Tottenham. Really good win again for Brentford, 5-2 against Liverpool. They've scored 15 goals now, Brentford, in the Premier League this season, and we will hear from Ivan Toney, who scored a hat-trick for Brentford today. We'll hear from him at half-time. Big win for Bournemouth, 3-2 at Nottingham Forest. Steve Cooper will be on at half-time, the Forest manager. Ball's played through into the Villa penalty area, but Martinez on the stretch is able to dive to his right and keep possession. Also, Wolves' first win of the Premier League season today, 1-0 against Southampton. Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. Villa with possession in front of their own penalty area. And
they were getting restless there, weren't they?
They are.
As soon as they don't play forward, go back. Gerrard and the crowd.
Yeah, there's an indicator, long and forward. But you know, there has to be a touch of realism when Manchester City are your opponents. And there's a free kick for Villa on the halfway line. Foul on Douglas Luiz, who, remember, Manchester City, one of his former clubs. So Villa, half-time approaching. I don't think they'll rush this free kick. And also earlier, Celtic 6 wins out of 6 this season after that 4-0 victory against Rangers in the Old Firm derby. I was listening to commentary on that earlier on 5 Live. And Norwich now top of the championship after their 3-0 home win against Coventry City, who remain bottom. But we'll have more on all of that and all of the main stories of the day at half-time with Steve Crossman. But in the last 10 minutes of the first half here at Villa Park, Villa do take this free kick now out to the left-hand side, down in front of us. Digne plays it back. McGinn is here. McGinn's left-footed cross over to the far side, but that's headed away by Diaz. And then Gundogan with a touch, but Villa almost get a touch to take it away from Foden, but Gundogan's behind that, plays it down the left-hand side. Manchester City with De Bruyne is dispossessed by Ashley Young. Might have been a free kick, that. I thought Ashley Young was pulling him back, but referee Hooper says no. And now Watkins on the edge of the penalty area, forced wide, shoots across the face of goal and beyond the far post. And Manchester City are going to be going to the referee after that wasn't given as a foul by Ashley Young on De Bruyne.
But it was brilliant football, whether it was a foul or not. It was a good challenge. Challenge was physical. The crowd lifted. Young did really well, and then the break was quick. Watkins, good runs. You see straight away forcing that corner kick, but the fans, wow, that changed, didn't it? The tempo just went wide and fancied it to go in the corner.
One attack has changed the atmosphere. 0-0 the score. Here's the corner, Villa's first, into the near post. Watkins was after it, took a touch of a City head. Ederson comes for it, Konsa with a challenge, it's hooked away off the line. It wouldn't have counted. Simon Hooper's blown his whistle. He says that was a foul by Konsa on the Manchester City goalkeeper.
Yeah, as Ederson goes up, there's that little bit of contact, but the atmosphere, that's what they've been waiting for. These Villa fans, a bit of a tackle, some runs as we expected in behind John Stones, and then just as the ball was about to go in, Rodri clears it. You say a referee goes for the foul.
Kind of thought he would.
Yeah, it looked it, didn't it? It looked like there was contact, but this is what the supporters want. They want to create that atmosphere. It's been all City. They're just zapping the game, moving Villa around. You feel like at any point they can get into a 1v1 and create something. I think Pep Guardiola's good at half-time, trying to find that difference for City to kick on. Villa, when they get those chances, they've got to put them away.
It's Michael Brown with us on 5 Live, Premier League midfielder, Manchester City player, Tottenham player, and many others. Here's Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. He's, it's like last season all over again, isn't it? You know, it might be going, looks like he's going. Is he going? He's not going. He stays, and all the time his form really hardly seems to be affected. And Bernardo Silva has started the season so well.
Yeah, you were looking, and it was me for one. The last few weeks he'd been incredible. I was hoping, and sort of Pep Guardiola, there was a slight hint, wasn't there, that it looked like even he said he possibly wants to go to somewhere else. Delighted that he's still here. Love watching him play.
Me too.
Just the way he goes about his business. Top footballer, great, likeable, great trainer. He has everything in his game.
Here's Rodri, halfway inside his own half, just turns the ball back to Ederson, passes the ball out, not far away from Watkins, but he finds Walker, who seems okay. Walker, that's a good pass. De Bruyne now slips it forward to Haaland, but across comes Tyrone Mings, a falling Tyrone Mings, just got a left foot to it to put it out of play down the right and away from Haaland.
2 passes from City. Kyle Walker, great pass. Kevin De Bruyne receives it so well, just into his stride. And that angled run from Haaland, Mings does very, very well to see the danger come across with a strong tackle.
Noise coming out of the Holt end to our right. Throw in for Manchester City into the box. Here's Haaland. Mings is really tight with him, really tight. And actually they're still tangling together, even though Villa have cleared the ball away. Stones heads it forward, and then forward from Ramsey into the path of Watkins. John Stones, though, this is still 15 yards inside the City half, but Watkins turns, still got the ball. Ramsey is there, and back it goes to Douglas Luiz, and then infield to Kamara, and then Douglas Luiz to the right hand side. Ashley Young gets the ball down, he has a look up, here's the delivery from Young into the penalty area, comes off Diaz's right foot or right shin. Digne with a cross for Villa, that's headed away by Stones. Asking 1 or 2 questions, Villa.
Yeah, they are, and it's about the quality of the delivery. Phil Foden coming to press, to play over it. Digne, good ball, McGinn and Young. It's 3 sort of good quality when they get into those areas. Watkins is now trying to get involved more, better runs, more momentum. You said straight away, Bailey, where is he?
Offside flag though up against Watkins for this latest Villa attack, so it comes to nothing. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0 is the score here at Villa Park. You can see 1 or 2 empty seats around the place. I don't think it's entirely full, but not far short. Here's Walker. Walker playing the ball out to the left hand side. Flags flying on the top of the Doug Ellis stand on the opposite side of the ground. The Ukraine flag right in the middle of those 5 flags up there. Here is Walker, puts his foot on the ball and gives it back in field to John Stones, and Stones forward to Cancelo, who blasted the ball back at John Stones. He had to sprint 10 yards back towards the penalty area and give it back to Ederson, so they have to start again right from the back. Both managers, Gerrard and Guardiola, making just the 1 change today. I thought there might be more after the midweek matches and what's to come, but both of them, despite contrasting fortunes, have stuck pretty much with what they had, although it is quite different for Aston Villa. 1 change, but tactical switches as we've described. Martinez in the Villa penalty area, passes the ball out to Mings, and then in field it's a little bit heart in mouth as Villa play it out from the back, but then McGinn hits a longer ball downfield. Diaz was underneath that. Walker with a stretch on the halfway line, Gundogan with the header, but Douglas Luiz is onto this, and Douglas Luiz couldn't pick out Watkins with the pass through the middle. Diaz was able to just take 2 steps across, and so City with De Bruyne centrally this time, gives it to Foden. Foden now, arms swinging, and then hits the pass over the top and behind little Bernardo Silva, and it's out for a throw-in to Villa 10 yards away from the halfway line. We are in the 44th minute, Michael Brown.
Some good passes from Villa there. Just a couple of little triangles, 1 touch straight away. They try to spin it, and the next one, Luiz intercepts it in the centre of the pitch, tries to play forward. Diaz does very, very well, but it's more intent, isn't it, in the passing from Villa. That's starting to question City and put them in the areas that they don't want to be. It was too comfortable before that. But yes, City have controlled it. There's a lot of shirt there from John Stones.
Yeah, on Watkins, but City are able to clear. No free kick. De Bruyne then beaten in the air by Digne. Comes off the City man. It's a throw-in for Villa. Michael, I know you see a lot of City, live or otherwise. Just wondering what you've made of Phil Foden's form so far. He's started all of the Premier League matches. Offside flag is up against Leon Bailey, so you can talk about that.
Yeah, we're seeing he missed those bits of pre-season game time for whatever reasons, but now he's starting to be that regular, and you're looking, it's more in those wider positions and not in those number 8s that you felt when Phil Foden was bursting onto the scene that he would have been in those slots. He's enjoying his football, he wants to drift in a little bit more, you feel that energy, that know-how, and I've seen him demanding more from his teammates, more tactical stuff when he comes over to Pep Guardiola. So he's developing, he's coming of age, and he's a wonderful player, great talent. Where will he continue to play throughout his career?
Walker playing it out towards that man Foden on the far side, but Ashley Young gets up high, the substitute Ashley Young, and heads it down, and it comes back to him to clear away to the halfway line. 22 years old now, Foden, not a boy anymore, very much a permanent fixture, and it looks like, I mean, as you say, Michael, last season we saw him play centrally an awful lot, but Haaland's there now, so it looks like what used to be the Sterling role most of the time is Foden's now. Here is Gundogan on the left hand side, Gundogan, and then Cancelo, but it bounces away from City, and Tyrone Mings is actually in the right back position where he's able to clear downfield. It's Watkins against Stones, but Stones the big favourite to get there first, which he does, and plays it back to Ederson, and then Rodri back to Stones, and we've got was that 2 minutes of added time?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Should be more than that, shouldn't it?
You would think so.
Yeah, after that long stoppage for the Cash injury. As Luca Digne heads it out of play, and it's a throw-in to Manchester City, so it is still 0-0. No City breakthrough.
And you know what? I think you're going to hear support from the Aston Villa. You know, fans at half-time. There'll be no moaning, I'm sure. No, Steven Gerrard will be pleased. That's why it's ended like this. Slightly
off there from Rodri. You know, the pass to Cancelo wasn't quite right. There's been a lot of that from City. Passes that just are slightly off.
It was far too comfortable for them. I think that's the point. The possession was easy. And sometimes they need testing. When they go the other way and it opens, and City become really clinical, and you feel just that bit of tempo. I'm sure that'll be what Pep Guardiola will be asking for, some 1v1s, runs from midfield, and haven't really seen Bernardo Silva, have we, go through somebody yet. It's been safe from City.
Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0 in this 5:30 kickoff, so half-time not far away. And here is Digne on the left-hand side. Digne forward to Douglas Luiz. That's a poor touch from him, straight out of play. He grimaces, looks at the heavens, and it's a throw-in for Manchester City. So we've had the 2 minutes of added time, and there it is from Simon Hooper, half-time whistle. City with the big chances not taken, so it's 0-0 at half-time, Michael Brown.
Yeah, obviously the City are the ones who created the chances. Kyle Walker notably having a wonderful chance right in the centre of the penalty area after controlling the game. We've seen Kevin De Bruyne was in one right across, Ilkay Gundogan just missing out. Villa finally got to grips at the end of the second half, getting more passes, forward passes, some good deliveries, testing City a little bit more. We're seeing that Watkins opportunity. So overall, yes, City have controlled it, but if you're Aston Villa, I think you'd be delighted at half-time to go and have something to build on.
Yeah, and a big loss for Villa as well, losing Matty Cash, with Ashley Young having to come on. They've created just that one Watkins chance. But at half-time, it is Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0.
And all right, Michael, you know, City aren't quite at it, but Villa have acquitted themselves really well, haven't they?
Well, listen, I was wondering what they were going to bring, Steve, you know, for a long period of time, but then obviously felt the way in. A couple of little sparks, and it was Young making that tackle straight away, got everybody up, and someone commits, drives forward, and they get the chance from it. Then the belief was there. The crowd's there when you've been in the middle of the pitch and you hear it. You start to go forward or drive into the space. As I said to you, Villa were just sort of saying, well, let's keep our shape, let's frustrate City. City really should have been ahead. They weren't, and that gave Villa the opportunity and the sort of confidence to come back into it.
Michael, John, thank you very much for the time being. So we've got second half commentary obviously on the way. After that, it'll be 606 08085 909 693. There's loads to talk about, not least Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. A very, very controversial VAR decision denying West Ham United an equaliser right at the end of the game. We'll talk to Robbie and Chris about that shortly. Hat-trick for Ivan Toney. We're going to hear from him very shortly, as well as Brentford beat Leeds by 5-2, finished 0-0 in the Merseyside derby earlier as well. Also 0-0 at St James's between Newcastle and Crystal Palace. Big win for Bournemouth. 2-0 down they were at Nottingham Forest. We heard from Philip Billing on Sports Report, who scored an absolutely brilliant goal to get them back into the game. They ended up winning by 3-2. Harry Kane on the way as well. He scored for Tottenham as they beat Fulham 2-1. Another goal there for Alexander Mitrovic, his 6th of the season, and it finished Wolves 1, Southampton 0 in the other game. That is a first win of the season for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're in the very, very dying seconds of England's game in Austria. Remember, England just needed a point to qualify for the World Cup next year, but they're going to get all three, Shojo Saka.
They certainly are. Serena Wiegmann wanted the job done today. Looks like the Lionesses are going to get this done. It's Austria 0, England 2. We have about 30 seconds of added time remaining, Steve. The European champions England have been dominant throughout this. They're going to make the World Cup finals in Australia and New Zealand next summer. Goals from Alicia Rousseau and Nikita Paris today. It looks like it's going to be 2-0 to them, and it means that in this qualifying campaign they played 9 and the Lionesses have scored 70 goals and conceded 0. Still, England 0, Austria 0, England 2. We literally have seconds remaining.
And I suspect we'll be bringing you the full-time whistle after we've checked in at the US Open with Russell Fuller.
Dying seconds for Cameron Norrie as well, I think, in a positive sense, because he's 2-0 up against Holger Rune of Denmark, the 28th seed. He won them 7-5, 6-4, and he's utterly dominant in his third set. Norrie leading by 5 games to 1, and Rune is serving to stay in the match now at 15 all. The winner of this, almost certainly Norrie, will play Denis Shapovalov or Andrei Rublev on Monday for a place in the US Open quarterfinals.
Thank you very much, Russell. And indeed, the final whistle has gone in Austria. I'm just looking at Mary Earps giving a couple of high fives. Nikita Paris scoring a brilliant second. England have qualified for the World Cup, as if it was ever in doubt. Some of the other day's headlines: England thrashed the USA in their Women's World Cup warm-up match at Exeter's Sandy Park, finished 52-14. England finished the game with 13 players following yellow cards for Shauna Brown and Helena Rowland. New Zealand beat Argentina 53-3 in the Rugby Championship. South Africa beat Australia 24-8 in Sydney. Just turn your radio down for a second if you don't want to know who's on pole for the Dutch Grand Prix. You've had enough time. It is the world champion and championship leader Max Verstappen for his home Grand Prix in the Netherlands. Charles Leclerc starts second, Carlos Sainz third. Full commentary on Sports Extra tomorrow afternoon. Leeds are through to the playoffs in Super League after beating Castleford 14-18. And the big race of the day, the Haydock Sprint Cup, was won by Minzal, who provided trainer Owen Burrows with another Group 1 victory. Lots of Premier League reaction along the way after the news with Jill McKenzie.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
NASA has confirmed it's called off the launch of its Artemis rocket for the second time this week. They're working towards sending humans back to the moon, but when they tried to fuel the rocket today, they found a hydrogen leak. There could be another chance to launch it on Monday or Tuesday. The First Lady of Ukraine is urging people in the UK who are worried about rising energy bills to remember the Ukrainians who've been killed or injured in the Russian invasion. Speaking to the BBC, Olena Zelenska stressed that rising energy costs were Russia's fault and that Western support could help shorten the war. The funeral of the last leader of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, has taken place in Moscow. He died on Tuesday at the age of 91. Vladimir Putin did not attend the service. And the cost of single bus journeys in England will be capped at £2 from January to March next year. The 3-month scheme is part of government plans to help with the cost of living crisis.
Quite happy to be starting on pole. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a good place to start, although maybe here pole position is not that important.
Quite a hectic first lap to try and stay out of trouble. So many things are happening in front of me. Pick the right places to pass people, and we could look after our tires, and yeah, that's how we made our way forward. And after that, once we were in the lead, it was all about managing everything. But yeah, this whole weekend has been incredible.
This time, who will win? F1. Live race commentary from the Netherlands Grand Prix, Sunday afternoon from 2.
On BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra.
Compared to Red Bull, is nothing special. They seem to have the upper hand by quite a margin.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Cam Norrie's on his way through. Russell Fuller.
He's into the 4th round of the US Open, having reached the semi-finals of Wimbledon, and he's yet to drop a set, Steve. The 7th seed has beaten Holger Rune easily in the end, but it was tight in the first couple of sets. 7-5, 6-4, 6-1 in 2 hours or 11 minutes. He'll need to wait a few hours to find out whether he plays Denis Shapovalov or Andrei Rublev in the fourth round on Monday. And a word on the match on the Louis Armstrong Stadium. Two great Grand Slam champions going head-to-head, and it is 6-5. Deciding set to Garbiñe Muguruza over Petra Kvitova, and the Spaniard currently has a match point on the Kvitova serve.
Right, we're going to squeeze in as much Premier League reaction as we can before the second half kicks off at Villa Park. Chelsea beat West Ham 2-1, but a very controversial VAR decision at the end of the game. Jared Bowen adjudged to have fouled Edouard Mendy before Maxwell Cornet put the ball in the top corner. The referee, Andrew Madley, went to the monitor and disallowed the goal. David Moyes, very unhappy.
Well, it's one as bad I think as ever I've had for a decision to be overturned for that. I just find incredible.
Clear and obvious error. It would have to be for it to be overturned. So where was that?
Well, I'm really disappointed that VAR would even consider sending the referee to the monitor. But the referee then sometimes has to be tough as well. I've seen all the angles, I've seen all the pictures. The referee the goalkeeper spills the ball, and if anything, he then fakes an injury, fakes a shoulder injury, which he did on the first goal as well, to be fair. And he conned the referee into that, so nothing we can do.
One last thing, you've been in this game an awfully long time. How long do you think it's going to take to get over something like this?
Well, I think the disappointing thing is if that is the elite level of refereeing, then I think, and maybe the elite level of people going to VAR, if that's where we're at, then it's probably people who've never done it, don't understand the difference, between a challenge. And we're actually in an era at the moment where we said that we're going to have a few more tackles, things were going to go. I could not believe it. The amount of times I've looked at it, I cannot believe the referee could even have considered that being a penalty, not given a goal. It's beyond belief, and getting sent to VAR was so bad. Ridiculous decision by the referee.
That's David Moyes. Got even stronger after that in the press conference as well. Talked about losing faith in elite refereeing as well. 08085 909 693. I'm sure that's going to be a good one for 606. So is this. Ivan Toney scoring a hat-trick for Brentford as they beat Leeds 5-2. And afterwards, he spoke to Jonathan Overend.
Well, Ivan, we haven't got half an hour, so we're going to talk through these goals, if that's all right. Number one, penalty. Your manager describes you as the best penalty taker in the world. Are you happy with that?
I mean, he keeps putting the pressure on me to put it in the back of the net on the penalties, but I just composed myself, and it's an opportunity to get on the score sheet, and I'll do it all right, I'll say.
Number two, beautiful free kick, but you don't take many, do you?
No, to be fair, the boys have been bantering me in training when I practice them, like, you won't be on them, but listen, you got to practice. Practice makes perfect, and I think we lost about 5 balls in training taking the free kicks from me going on so far over, but it's on a hit peach today and went top corner.
Absolutely. And then the third one, bizarre goal in one sense, but amazing in another, that your composure with the goalkeeper sort of running around you and all sorts going on. Just what was going through your head at that moment?
Just relax. I've gone past the danger bit, got past the keeper, got past the defender that was chasing me, and it's up to me to chip into the back of the net and just stand composedly.
Is this the sort of form that hopefully will get you into the England squad?
Who knows? I just got to concentrate on myself, concentrate on doing well for myself and the team, and who knows what can happen.
That's Ivan Toney. Let's go to the City Ground. Nottingham Forest were 2-0 up at half-time against Bournemouth. They ended up losing 3-2. Couple of brilliant goals in that game for Bournemouth, but that'll be no consolation for Forest boss Steve Cooper. Here he is.
As good as we were in the first half, we were the opposite in the second half, and we've made some errors obviously for the goals in terms of conceding off a set piece, which we should do better at, but we were slightly unfortunate that Ryan Yates was off the pitch at the time because he just had a knock before it. And then obviously the third goal is an error from Scott, which is probably the first error he's made since I've been here, and that can obviously happen. But I guess the overriding feeling is how disappointed we were in the second half compared to the first half, because we looked like a really good team in the first half and we're in complete control. So it's ended up being a really disappointing day.
Great day, though, for the women's team of the Oval Invincibles, who've won the 100 by 5 wickets. Emily Windsor saw them home alongside captain Marizanne Kapp, and she spoke to Betty Glover.
Emily, can you just try and sum up for us how you were feeling? Oh look, Cappy was unreal out there. She was keeping me so calm. I said I needed to battle with her more often, but I do love a chase. I think I've done it at regional cricket, and I just tried to keep things simple, stick to my strengths, and obviously when you're batting alongside someone that's world class like Cappy, it makes my job a lot easier.
What was it like? Because she was kind of coaching you through that. This is the first time that you've batted all season. What was she kind of saying to you? What was the communication?
Well, to be honest, our top order have been phenomenal all tournament. They had to leave us something to do, but look, she was just saying play to my strengths, hit down the ground and stick with me to the end. She didn't want me to do anything else or be too clever, and yeah, it was nice to see at home with her. She was a fantastic innings from her, and yeah, she really delivered.
And the men's final is about to get underway on 5 Sports Extra and BBC 2. Second half on the way at Villa Park. After that, it's 6:06 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Good afternoon. Good evening, guys.
Evening, Steve. Yeah, thanks for that, Steve. I tell you what, Christopher, what a day of VAR. Two of the most scandalous, shocking decisions I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, Newcastle United had a goal ruled out. I don't know what for. Absolutely crazy. Newcastle fans must be raging about that. I've seen Eddie Howe unhappy about it. And then West Ham. You're listening to David Moyes there. I'm with David Moyes. How are VAR, getting these decisions wrong? VAR was supposed to be brought in to clean the game up. Has it done? Let's hear from West Ham and Newcastle fans, or any football fans. Liverpool, it's all gone flat there, hasn't
Pickford, it? Brilliant, wasn't he?
Pickford was absolutely brilliant. Brentford, Ivan Toney at the treble, but Leeds United, they're falling away, aren't they?
But what a win for Bournemouth. Forest, tune up your predictions.
Moneybags, Forest. Yeah. I mean, what's going on there? Bournemouth winning 3-2, and the biggest derby of the day, the Glasgow derby. Celtic mauling Rangers. Here's one for Rangers fans. If Steven Gerrard was still in charge of Rangers, would they have suffered a defeat like that? It was an absolute hammering, wasn't it?
Just before we hand back to John, you can understand David Moyes' anger. We watched that game, Chris. It's an absolute joke. VAR's even got involved. Yeah, I know it's a goal, you got to check goals, but it's in a million years. Nobody's going to come on this show tonight and say it was rightly ruled out, surely.
No, I'm with you, and I get David Moyes' anger. And he accuses Mendy of faking injury. Got to say I'm with him.
08085 909 693. Right, time for the second half at Villa Park. Back to you, John Murray.
Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, and we were listening to Jonathan Overend's interview with Ivan Toney at half-time. Jonathan asking Ivan Toney, do you think he's got a shout for the England squad? I think that's a debating point for later as well.
I'm sure they'll be debating it, the two of them, won't they? But I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. Yes, a striker in the Premier League scoring, but that's another level.
Right, second half coming up, and it is Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Any sign of any further changes at the start of the second half? I don't think so. Villa have already had to bring on Ashley Young as the substitute right back for the injured Matty Cash. So the Villa team, Martinez in goal, substitute Young, Konza, Mings and Digne. Then this midfield, which for the most part is a three-man central midfield with Camara, Douglas Luiz and McGinn either side of him. And then the front line of Bailey, mainly on the right, Ramsey on the left and Watkins through the middle. But when City have had it, which they've had most of the time, Villa all drop back behind the ball. There's the whistle from referee Hooper. Erling Haaland has not had a chance yet. Gets the first touch of the second half as he plays it back into his own territory. And City in the yellow and grey hooped shirts with the grey shorts and yellow socks against Villa in the claret and blue. City have Ederson in goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz and Cancelo, Rodri with De Bruyne and Gundogan either side, and then Haaland with Bernardo Silva on the left and Foden. Bernardo Silva on the right, Foden on the left, and it is Foden now who runs at the Villa right back area, but that is blocked out of play off Foden, and it's a throw into Villa halfway inside their own half. So first minute, Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. Michael Brown with me, Premier League midfielder of some vintage. Villa, so far so good.
Yeah, just wondering to see if there's any changes, notably Manchester City. If you're Aston Villa, I think you'd be similar in your approach, go forward when you can from the press.
Here's Bernardo Silva on the right hand side, plays it down into the fullback position, but there was no run there from De Bruyne, and it will roll harmlessly through for a goal kick.
Yeah, just going back to City, it's how they change, whether Phil Foden will drive inside more, though we see Bernardo on a 1v1 in the second half. Who does he square up? Is there one particular player he can get at? Okay, Gundogan's run. So other than that, we'll soon see how the setup does. But City generally change something if they're like that 0-0 and haven't got full control of the game.
You heard Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton there. The lines are now open to talk to the two of them on 606 08 085 909 693 to book your call, or you can get in touch, hashtag BBC 606, or text 85058 to book your call. As the ball is played back to Martinez with his short-sleeved goalkeeper's shirt on, orangey gloves. Long clearance from him, looking for Watkins through the middle. Diaz wins that duel, but it comes back to Ollie Watkins, and Watkins carrying the ball out towards the right-hand side. Applause for the work that he does there. And then Villa go back into central defence and back to Konsa and Mings. Villa with it on the right-hand side. Here is Ashley Young, right-footed ball from him forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and Diaz, well, he seemed to have his arms wrapped around Bailey as he was challenging for the ball, headed it out of play, and that is given as just a throw in.
Well, he's only got two arms around his neck. Poor decision. The referee Stephen Gerrard's gone crazy down below us to the right-hand side. Leon Bailey's looking to bring the ball down. It's good finesse, good pass from Young.
Villa take the throw. Douglas Luiz with the cross. He's trying to wrap his foot around it, but he's got not enough on it, and it just drifts high and over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. And Stephen Gerrard there, standing on the edge of his coaching area. Big game next Saturday when Villa go to Leicester, but if they're able to get something in this match, then whatever it is, a point makes things look very different.
This is strange, you don't often see this. Actually, the ball's flat in the Premier League. Literally, Kyle Walker just put his foot on the ball, it sort of went through it, they've changed it, referee going to check it. Feel sorry for who's in charge of the balls.
Well, there are plenty of them now, aren't there? I suppose the occasional one must go wrong, sitting on their cones all the way around the pitch with the multi-ball system. Here's Cancelo, the flat ball has been replaced, and Diaz plays it across the back line. I
think that's been a good talking point. The last two games, Erling Haaland looking for the match ball. Yes. And he was actually, well, which one is it? And he's thinking, well, I need the ball. He went to collect it. People were kicking them away.
Could have scored with three different balls.
Well, this is the problem. Is it as unique anymore?
Cancelo inside his own half, turns, and then still with that ball at his feet, gives it to Rodri, who's pulled out towards the left-hand side. Then Rodri stabs it back in field, and Manchester City goes square. Patient approach. Sure, Pep Guardiola will have been into them at half-time. There were a number of little errors that were made that were rather un-City-like, but here they come forward with Bernardo Silva, and now De Bruyne with a cross. Haaland is there and heads it in. Point blank range, the cross from the right from De Bruyne. It landed on his head, he couldn't miss, and it's Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 1. And Erling Haaland hits double figures for the season, his 10th goal for Manchester City.
Well, he's hardly touched the ball in the game, but this is what he does. Killer instinct, City patient, it's all about the overload. Kevin De Bruyne getting into that area, he sort of hesitated, and he puts a deep cross. Martinez will be disappointed that he can't move his feet quicker. On the line, there's Haaland with the simplest of headers onto the back post. You can hear the City supporters, but it's all about the delivery. He knows where to be when any delivery's good. De Bruyne, Haaland yet again, and as you say, double figures for Erling Haaland.
1-0 the Champions lead. It was tapped in with his left foot. It landed on his left instep at the back post. He could have headed it in, but he just tapped it in. I mean, he was virtually under the crossbar when he scored that. And on the 3rd of September, Erling Haaland reaches 10 goals for the season. So 10 goals in 6 Premier League appearances. That's his first attempt on goal here in this match, and he scored.
It's amazing, isn't it? But it's about the delivery. You give him that space. Kevin De Bruyne, what you said earlier on in the first half, you do that, you give him one warning, the ball that fizzed right across the face. Ilkay Gundogan just missed it on that occasion. The next time, I think you've got to stop the cross. I think Villa had the chance to do it, and they didn't. But who's marking Haaland into the box? Martinez as well will be disappointed that he can't track back. It's a good ball, though. It's a deep ball right on top of them. And it's just the story gets better.
Yeah. the cross from the right hand side. It was near the byline, wasn't it? It was agonisingly over the top of Martinez, who was just sort of grasping at thin air. He couldn't get the ball, and as I say, it dropped to Haaland, who was leaping off the ground to score with his left foot. So 1-0 Manchester City lead, and it's the City fans you can hear over on the far side of the ground. Somebody's produced that Norwegian flag up there in the top tier. It's hanging over the top of the stand, but the rest of Villa Park now has fallen quiet, and it is the Manchester City fans who are celebrating away from home again. They're on a club record run currently of 20 successive away league matches without defeat, and from 1-0 up here you would fancy them strongly to make it 21. Here is Manchester City again. The ball played out towards the right hand side. De Bruyne is there again, swings it across with the top of his right boot, but Ashley Young just got his head to it and was able to glance it out for a throw down the left hand side here that Foden will leave.
Is that the dynamics as well that we've talked about, of having that number 9 being able to cross the ball into a key area City haven't had for a period of time? Someone's going to attack it. Again, you're going to see the support for Kevin De Bruyne, realising what he brings.
Yes. Ball out again for a City throw. I don't know about the dynamics, Michael, but I know that they've got a dynamic duo, De Bruyne and Haaland. That is a dangerous combination for everyone else in the Premier League and probably everyone else in the Champions League and every other competition. Back it comes for City again, halfway inside the Villa half, and now of course City have got Villa exactly where they want them. 1-0 up. Villa have got to take a chance or two as the ball runs across. Kyle Walker, De Bruyne is there again, and back to the halfway line to the Manchester City midfielder.
No, we haven't seen Kevin De Bruyne really overlap, had we? Do you know, go beyond? Is that something Pep Guardiola, a question to ask afterwards? Is it from that the midfield two, as we said, to make the difference? There'll be a one-on-one from Foden, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne getting better areas. We've seen Ilkay Gundogan do it. As soon as Kevin De Bruyne goes round the other side, they're away.
Yeah, suggestion being that was that something that was said at half-time for De Bruyne to get down into the... Here is Foden now crossing from the left-hand side, but that's beyond Haaland, who is leaping, sticking out a foot, but the offside flag was up actually, so it's a free kick to Villa. Manchester City 1-0 up.
Yeah, good delivery. Phil Foden just pushes out of his feet, leaves it right in that corridor, 6-yard area. It's a penalty spot. And overstretched him with the outside of his left boot. I wonder what he's thinking. Do you know, inside, can he believe it? Is he just saying, well, this is what I do? It's just an amazing return from a young man. He seems so cool, collected about the whole situation.
1-0 to Manchester City, and City fans now taunting Steven Gerrard, who is cutting rather a lonely figure down there on the side of the pitch. He's set his team up with a game plan today. Gary McAllister, his assistant, the two of them. But now that you're 1-0 down in this match, is this now where it needs a change, or do you just say, well, it served us well so far in this match, let's just stick with it for the time being and make sure it doesn't get any worse, the situation?
I think that's the theory. Let's stay in the game, keep it as is. 1-0, last 10 minutes. I know it's quite negative to think like that, but then we can come out of the shape. What you won't want is a really big score against them with those 3 games coming up. That's the ones that really is going to be judged in such a big way. City supporters are dining out on it at the moment.
Yeah, Leicester away the next one, but then it's Southampton the next home match.
Imagine being here at that game if they don't get a result against Leicester. Is that the one that is going to be a turning point for Steven Gerrard? I personally think, I don't agree with it, but I understand it, and you can see where it's going to go. But let's try and build this young manager, young career. So you feel like he's got all the credentials to go on and be a top manager.
Cancelo, misplaced pass through the middle, straight to Martinez, and now Ollie Watkins is on the chase against Stones and is adjudged to have fouled John Stones inside the City penalty area as he challenged for the ball, and that is the free kick. And you can hear the Villa supporters' reaction to that. They feel that maybe 5-6 minutes ago a similar decision didn't go their way for the challenge that was put in by, it was Diaz, wasn't it, on the edge of his own box, but that's gone City's way.
Yeah, you just see there Pep Guardiola jumping up with double thumbs up, appreciated the work. It's an arced run from Watkins, turning City around. Kyle Walker a little bit high, but I don't think Steven Gerrard, if you've got this game plan, this setup, you can just go and change everything. As you said, people are saying, what is your shape, what's your plan, how do you go about your philosophy? To go change everything now, I don't think that's the right message.
That's Michael Brown. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 1. I mean, there's not been an angry atmosphere by any means inside Villa Park, and many Villa fans will have come here today, Haaland in this sort of goal-scoring form, fearing the worst. It's not turned out that way. It's been quite an even game. City haven't been at their best. They are now 1-0 up, that goal being scored in the 50th minute. And here is Haaland now, bearing down on Konza, who just has to tap it back to Martinez. And then up goes Rodri to head it back for Foden, but Ashley Young is able to get there first. Cleared away by Konza to the halfway line. Villa just can't get out of their own half. Rodri just sidesteps.
How much better has he got on the ball, Rodri? You can see the difference there under pressure, using the space. I just think he's got so much better.
You feel notably so.
And
now he's caught in possession by Ramsey, who gives it to Watkins. Watkins has got a long way to go against Stones. He gives it back to Ramsey, and out comes Edison and makes an excellent save at the feet of Jacob Ramsey. He got his hands to it, the ball squirmed away, but Edison was able to grab it and hold it for City.
He does really well. Ramsey getting into the box, just about to go. Edison makes that decision. We've seen several times when he does that, he gets caught out, but this occasion he gets it spot on. As we see otherwise from VAR, we know that's always a test. Just commentator's curse a little bit there, wasn't it? Rodri great in possession, off he goes, he loses it.
That was a classic of its type, the curse of the commentator. But Villa really, you feel they needed to score that. But here's Bailey for Villa into the penalty area on his left foot, now turns back onto his right, but gives it to Douglas Luiz. Packed penalty area now. Douglas Luiz cross, pushed away by Edison, comes out to the edge of the box, but the shot is wide from Leon Bailey again, just outside the D. Caught it with the outside of his boot and sent it a yard and a half wide.
It's amazing, isn't it? One particular incident changes the outlook of the game. That's 2 chances now for Aston Villa, and Rodri losing it in the centre of the pitch. And Bailey does well. We finally see what he can contribute. Comes in onto that left foot as it bends, takes that touch, half volley, fizzes it. It's the right hand post. It was always going wide. It's got these Villa fans up again.
So a couple of chances there, and that's changed the atmosphere again. Just getting a second chance. Now a little screen here to see that save from Edison before that move. He came out and narrowed his ankle.
His touch wasn't good. I think if you've seen it, Ramsey's touch, he's in a good spot, just take it, but he pushes it too far. And you know Edison's going to come. Just keep it tight, let him come, make that decision. You've got the space then to push it by him, or occasionally can give a penalty away.
Was a good save though. Brave goalkeeping actually, coming out like that, got his hands to it.
It was a poor touch, John.
It was a poor touch.
And as we said about the opportunity you get against City, that's a massive chance.
It kind of needed it to be Ramsey playing it to Watkins, but it was the other way around. Ramsey's not scored yet this season, and as Michael says, that was costly. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 1. It's made great progress, Jacob Ramsey. Steven Gerrard, in that midfield position, has shown great faith in him. But that was a big moment for him, big moment for Villa, and a big moment for Gerrard, not taken. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 1. 5 Live and BBC Sounds as well. You can listen to the live radio via BBC Sounds. Just look for 5 Live at the top. Here is Foden, caught in possession, fouled by Ashley Young. That's a free kick to Manchester City. More frustration for Villa and their supporters.
He went really tight, didn't he, Ashley Young? He wanted to have a nibble. He thought I'm going to leave a little bit more than I should on Phil Foden, and he knows what he's doing when he says it's not a foul. It's a clear foul, but got to give him the credit for pressing, putting Phil Foden under pressure.
Saturday night in the second city, Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 1, and City now coming down the right hand side, but McGinn puts in the challenge. De Bruyne is there and plays it in, and Mings on the stretch is able to get a left-footed to it to put it behind for a City corner from the right.
Good run, Kevin De Bruyne in the 6-yard area again. Erling Haaland, I think that's 6 goals from inside of there for City. That tells you everything. Putting it into those areas, he's always going to be around, ready for that little tap in, but it is an instinct from him.
6 of the 10 inside the 6-yard box. Yep, natural finisher, natural poacher. Corner then for Manchester City. De Bruyne, an out swinger. Rodri's after it, didn't get a clean header. Still in the area, Stones trying to dance his way through a packed penalty area. Villa got a block in, and then it's played out.
He almost could have went down, couldn't he? John Stones did really well under pressure. Central near the penalty spot, one little touch then the next. I'm thinking, is it going to fall for him? It's a little bit of a clip. He stays up, just runs into trouble.
1-0 Manchester City lead through Haaland's 10th goal for Manchester City in competitive matches. All 10 of them in the Premier League. So even though Harry Kane's on the chase with another goal today, and Ivan Toney's got his hat-trick today, the rest of them are going to have to go some to keep pace with him. The last man to get 30 in a Premier League season was Mo Salah back in 2017-2018 when he scored 32, but Haaland already to 10. Here's Mings at the back. Mings clears to the halfway line, but Rodri cuts that out. Walker passes it forward. Bernardo Silva's over there, and Bernardo Silva goes all the way back from inside the Villa half to his goalkeeper, Ederson.
Yeah, finally Villa are looking to possibly make some changes. You'd expect that with the quality that they've got on the bench.
In the last half hour now. He's got to do it sometime.
He's got to. Do you know, I think he'll be slightly cautious, thinking, I've got the press, I've got the setup, not creating too much territory for City. He's got to go for it, and at some point when you've got those players, you know you can do it.
Goal-filled day around the leagues. You can talk about it all on 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. The lines are open now to book your call on 08085 909 693. Read about it all on the BBC Sport website and app. Watch Match of the Day tonight on BBC One after the news. And here is Haaland. Haaland strong, winning the ball, keeping the ball for City, gives it to Bernardo Silva, drives into the penalty area. Haaland now shoots on the turn. It's saved by the legs of Martinez. That was goal bound, and the Villa keeper kept it out. Foden, now Bernardo Silva's on the left, plays it behind Haaland. De Bruyne's onto it inside the penalty area on the right hand side, left-footed cross. Haaland's in there. Strong stuff. Konza did well to get a header away in there. Haaland was all over him, but Villa cleared.
That was a brilliant moment, wasn't it? Erling Haaland just turns, gets his shot away, good save. And again, City keep it alive. Phil Foden coming out, and the ball's drifted across. Kevin De Bruyne turning so quick. Another little death ball to the back post, and pressure's on Haaland. Mings. It's a great passage of play. You're finally seeing in Haaland when he's a threat in and around the area. This was outside the 6-yard area, John.
Michael, this is a great position here. We're very close at Villa Park. We're sort of halfway inside, looking from the side of the pitch, halfway inside the half that City are attacking into, as John McGinn is substituted, and there were cheers there when his number went up. You know, the new captain, John McGinn. So he is off. Martinez is given the captain's armband, and it is Philippe Coutinho who comes on to the field for Aston Villa with still lots of question marks over his head this season. Coutinho, who scored precisely 1 goal and provided no assists in his last 16 Premier League appearances, but that goal was against Manchester City at the end of last season.
Yeah, it's one of the questions are being asked. How has he changed the shape? It's a 4-3-3, will it be? Or will he go and drop in? But it's opening now slightly for City.
Yes, it is. It will naturally do that. Gundogan, here's Haaland again, just outside the D. Challenge from Mings, caught his heels. Haaland went sprawling in the D. Referee Hooper points at Mings. The free kick is given. It's just inside the D. The question is whether it will be a card for Mings. I don't think it will be.
There wasn't much in it, you know. There wasn't a great amount of contact. He gets slightly tight. Haaland tries to go. A touch on the back. He falls down. He was just waiting to get that left foot strike outside the area. He uses his body well. That's when he's good. Haaland, when he can just get that space, the touch, the finish away. But now it's a great spot for City. So everybody's having a look at it. Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan are the favourites. De Bruyne places it central, right on the edge of the D. How do you set your wall up? Are you central? Are you to one side? Where does the goalkeeper want you? For a City perspective, it's about hitting the target. Make sure that you're testing the goalkeeper.
This the supreme test for Villa. Goalkeeper Martinez to face this free kick just inside the D. It's quite central, maybe slightly left of centre. De Bruyne and Gundogan are there together. It looks as though it is going to be Kevin De Bruyne, slightly red-faced, fair hair. Kevin De Bruyne comes up and strikes. Oh, it hits the top of the crossbar and bounces over the top into the lower tier of the north stand to our left. Goal kick, still just 1-0 to Manchester City, but the width of a crossbar from 2-0.
Wow, what a free kick when he just hits it sort of side foot. It dips back, hits the top of the crossbar. No goalkeeper's getting near it. There's a big opportunity. We've seen Riyad Mahrez, Jack Grealish just below us, watching, saying what can he do. Fascinating technique that he had, but wasn't to be.
Choice of listening tonight. 5 Live has the Premier League. Manchester City, the champions, 1-0 up, going for what would be 16 points out of a possible 18, while the final of the men's 100 is over on Sports Extra on your digital radio. It's at Lord's, as is Atif Nawaz.
Indeed, Manchester Originals 14 for 1 after 12 balls. They've already lost their captain Laurie Evans, who was adjudged to be LBW of Sam Cook. It's very early days, of course, but the Trent Rockets heavy favourites, and they started very, very well.
The US Open tennis, you can listen to that, the commentary via the BBC Sport website from our team in New York. Cameron Norrie is already through to the 4th round today. Kevin De Bruyne now opening his legs and giving it to Haaland, and Haaland's shot is saved by Martinez, diving to his left. That looked very much like it was going to be 2-0, but Martinez making the save. Haaland has come to life here at Villa Park. De Bruyne now to the right hand side. When those two particularly are on song, De Bruyne and Haaland, as they are in this second half, then you have to worry, whoever you are.
John, what about his run? It was power, pace, confidence, driving right through the middle. Then he sees the pass, so it's not just going at pace, he gets his shot away, or another assist. Here he is again.
Now he is Foden on the left hand side, hangs the ball up to the back post. Bernardo Silva is there, heads it back across the penalty area, but straight into the path of Boubacar Kamara, who is able to clear away unchallenged. City come again, it's coming on waves at them now. It feels like that second City goal is only a matter of time here in the second City. Rodri playing it back to Foden, and then Foden back to the halfway line. But I was saying to you that to see Haaland here from this position, it feels like we've got a ringside seat. We're so close. He was a peripheral figure in the first half, the big Norwegian, but now playing close to us in the second. He's scored 1, he could have had 2 or 3. He's absolutely central. He's so big. Here's Cancelo.
He's playing now, isn't he? If you look, he's come alive, a bit more confidence, getting involved.
He's prowling, Michael.
But it's about Kevin De Bruyne. What he creates is incredible. He's free now. He's now on the left-hand side. De Bruyne, give him the ball when he's in this mood.
Yeah, he's just over here now. Ashley Young's sort of keeping half an eye on him, but he's pulled right out towards the left-hand side. City, though, with the ball centrally. And Rodri, that was a little short, but Diaz was able to come across, and then that's a firm challenge on the far side by Digne, but the referee's played an advantage, and that could be an advantage to City, because De Bruyne shoots, it hits Haaland inside the box, bounces across the area, Young heads it away, ball hanging on the edge of the box, De Bruyne, Haaland slips it back to De Bruyne with a shot, but he slashed it wide. Good opportunity, a clear opening, but he did snatch at it and put it wide of the right post as we look.
It was brilliant, from start to finish, from all the players involved. How that didn't end up, I mean, as Kevin De Bruyne sees it in the space, there's a yellow card being given for that late challenge on Bernardo Silva.
By Digne?
Yeah, it was, but as it comes across, Kevin De Bruyne opens with a great effort, and it hits right onto the back of Erling Haaland, as you're thinking, is it going into the corner? Then on the next phase, just can't believe the opportunities don't come through. There's a little reverse pass, Kevin De Bruyne follows his run, centre of the goal, takes a touch, he just screws it wide with the outside of his foot. It would have been a brilliant finish, and it was much harder than you think, that, John, that finish under that pressure, travelling so quickly. I know it's De Bruyne, and we've got to be slightly critical. He'll be disappointed, but it was a tough one.
Still just 1-0 to Manchester City, but City are knocking on the door. Well, they're not knocking on the door, they're absolutely hammering on the Villa door in front of the North Stand. Villa fans in there are staring down on this. They must be watching through their fingers up there, but the City fans, they're on the far side, they're at this end of the ground as well, and they will be absolutely loving what they're watching here. However, 1-0 is still a tight lead, obviously. Here is Bernardo Silva on the right hand side. Bernardo Silva was caught. Yeah, the challenge came in on him by Boubacar Kamara. It's a free kick, that's all, but 15 yards inside the Villa half on the far side.
Well, could have easily been a yellow card, that one. It's quite high, it's a cross. Wasn't necessarily dangerous, but it took him out in advanced position as he's travelling forward, right in front of those City fans in full flow.
So that is the final contribution from Bernardo Silva, that drawing that foul, if I can put it in those terms. And Riyad Mahrez comes onto the field, last season's top scorer, remember, in all competitions. Riyad Mahrez with the 24 goals that he scored, career best in terms of his total for a season. So Mahrez is on the right hand side. Clearance downfield from Ederson. It's curling away towards the far side, and it needed Digne to head it back into the gloves of Martinez, but he did. So 1-0 Manchester City lead. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton are standing by or sitting by to take your calls on 08085 909 693. We'll be straight there at the conclusion of this match once we've wrapped things up, and we'll bring you live interviews as well from the interview position here at Villa Park into 606, so listen out for that. Steven Gerrard and Pep Guardiola presumably, as Stones heads the ball away on the edge of the penalty area. Rodri hooks it away. Villa come again. Ramsey, who's had that big chance already in the half, Ramsey works it across. Bailey with a chance. It's 1-1. Super finish. First time on his left foot, curled it into the top corner. Well, it's 1-1.
Wow, what a finish. You should see the stadium all around us, and rightly so. They've come back into this game where really it was all Manchester City. Broke down the left hand side. As the ball comes across, they're just running in behind. City have got to do a little bit better. They don't win the challenges. But as it swifts off to the left, goes across, Bailey sees it right across the edge of the area, near the penalty spot, comes across inside of the left foot, right into the top right corner. A brilliant finish. Ederson, no chance.
What a breathtaking moment inside Villa Park that was. They're still celebrating. In fact, the Villa players went into a huddle there. Did you see that? In front of the Hold End, Michael. All gathered together, the Hold End behind them. And you know, that's a measure there of what they're trying to do here. We've got back into this goal. 74 minutes played, and they think they might be able to get something here.
Well, now they've got to understand the organisation, the levels, the detail. City are going to come at them full throttle, we know that. But you've got to give them the credit, staying in the game. They've blocked, they've tried, they've cleared the chances away, but as City come, but you felt they will get an opportunity. City will be so disappointed. But he hasn't really done much, has he, Bailey? You've seen him just recently, just come into the game, get that shot away. Second opportunity, brilliant strike.
In some ways, it was a surprise, Michael, that he was still on the field.
Yeah, but full credit to Steven Gerrard, he made the more advanced change.
So now, Villa Park in full cry. It's 1-1. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1. They hammered on the door, but they couldn't get through. And instead it's the left foot of Leon Bailey that has produced the next goal of the match. And this is Leon Bailey, who really missed most of last season. He had a series of injuries after he was signed in last summer, the summer of 2021, from Bayer Leverkusen. Had only 6 touches in the first half, Bailey, but that touch mattered. But Villa have got a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
Martinez, the goalkeeper, has had to throw the ball out of play, and he's dropped down flat on his back. and he's got an injury. This is a major setback if there's an injury to Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper.
Well, we'll soon see if it is that injury or there's a slight delay. But City don't win those second balls. The ricochets swept out to the left-hand side. It looks like he's in a lot of pain when we're seeing the pictures now. But all the Villa players, all around the staff, they've got something to go at now. They've got something to fight for. That gives them a huge boost when City are pushing in round the sides. It gives you a little lift as a player.
Players taking drinks. Emiliano Martinez is being diagnosed and tested out there on the far side as he sits on the ground. But a great noise swirling around this stadium now, this great stadium, Villa Park. You can see it from the M6 as you drive past, just next to Spaghetti Junction, which was the subject of Fact of the Day on Drive yesterday on 5 Live. The fact of the day being Spaghetti Junction, the very first mention of pasta recorded anywhere was in the ancient holy book of the Talmud. That was this week's Fact of the Day. I have to say, Michael, I did get it correct. 2 out of 2 now this season. And you can hear that, our little contest, me and Ian Dennis and Alistair Bruce Ball on Drive, 5:25 or thereabouts every Friday afternoon on 5 Live. So, Martinez, they've had a look at him, and he's getting back to his feet now.
Do you know,
I think he's okay, you know?
Yeah, but do you know what, John? Maybe I'm a little bit critical here. Your goalkeeper's down, the medical staff are on, and your sub-goalkeeper's not even run to get warmed up. A couple of minutes later, he jogs out as slow as he possibly can. To me, it seems like the goalkeeper's going to be okay. What do you think?
Yes, I think you might be right. They're a relaxed bunch, the Scandinavians, though. Robin Olsen,
unbelievably relaxed. He's got a suntan cream on.
Lovely way of life up there. Don't worry about too much. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1, but that's a relief. Martinez is okay and he's able to continue. And now Villa are thinking they might actually be able to win this. Watkins pulls it back. Bailey was very nearly there again. It was just cut out. And now Manchester City suddenly... I mean, this is sport, isn't it? This is sport, this is football. It looked an inevitability that City would get that second goal and go on to take all 3 points, and it's changed.
We're going to have a great ending. It's going to be great. You can just tell. Last 10-15 minutes or so, it'll be end to end. And can Villa go on? Can they improve on the performance? Can they get another opportunity? You know City are going to create.
Yes, that's a good ball forward by Bailey to Watkins, edge of the penalty area. Watkins comes on inside, plays it across, takes a touch there. It's bounced to Coutinho. Coutinho, brilliant, a lovely wriggle, and then shoots goalward. But the offside flag was up. The offside flag was up. The goal won't count. It's a free kick to City.
Oh, some supporters right in front of us. The delight on the face, thinking that's the winner.
Lovely finish.
Great finish, but say City are going to make that change. What we thought earlier on in the game. Kyle Walker is walking and he seemed uncomfortable. Nathan Ake getting an opportunity to come on.
Nathan Ake's missed the last couple of matches with a bit of a muscular issue. And Kyle Walker is limping, so there must be a little bit of doubt over him for Seville this week. And Ake has looks like he's taken over at left back.
Cancelo.
Cancelo has come into the middle. I think they're going to play
back three.
Back three.
We'll see how that sets up though. Or John Stones just into right back, and they'll stick as a 4. We'll see how that develops.
Well, it looks like Cancelo's playing centrally alongside Rodri. They're going for the points here in the position that City are in. Liverpool held to a draw today against Everton. Arsenal playing tomorrow. That's one of our commentary matches. In fact, both matches on 5 Live Premier League Sunday tomorrow. So Brighton, Leicester from 2, Manchester United, Arsenal from 4:30, which looks very interesting. The Dutch Grand Prix is on Sports Extra. That'll be followed by the US Open. Dan Evans, by the way, playing later tonight, so you can hear the commentary on Dan Evans' third round match at the US Open. And we'll get the latest as well from the 100, the men's final of the 100, with Dan Norcross.
The 2 more wickets have fallen since you were last here. Wayne Madsen and Phil Salt. They're in all sorts of trouble now, the Manchester Originals. 24 for 3 from 27 balls. Panicky running. The pressure is getting to them. They need to get a partnership building. Tristan Stubbs and Ashton Turner are together. They've just started their innings. 25 for 3 from 28 balls.
Pressure at Lords. You can listen to that on Sports Extra, watch it on BBC Two. Pressure at Villa Park. Feels these grey skies are closing down on us. The floodlights are brightly on now in the evening, gloaming, and it's a throw into Villa, and we've got less than 10 minutes to play. This has been a really enjoyable contest, Michael, actually.
It's going to be now, you just feel it. A little bit of something going on, as you see. Now City trying to get control of the game again. Villa look dangerous on the counter.
City with the ball on the far side with John Stones. Pep Guardiola making that tactical switch, going for it. City win, they'll go back to the top of the table. If it's a draw, Arsenal will stay top. Young heading the ball away, comes off the back of Gundogan. Now Bailey's battling for it, halfway inside the Villa half. It's played forward by Konsa. Douglas Luiz on the chase. Diaz is underneath the bouncing ball, heads it away. Bailey's there as well. Suddenly Bailey's everywhere. Here is Camara. Camara's pass is somewhere behind Coutinho, but he does well to keep that in. I think he's got a lot of ground to make up with the Villa supporters, Philippe Coutinho, but he's doing his best. Ball up through the middle to Watkins. Watkins against Ake. Watkins does well. Plays the ball to the right hand side. Suddenly Steven Gerrard is animated. Douglas Luiz. Cancelo's in quickly with a challenge on Bailey, and in fact the referee allows play to continue. It's flagged as a foul on Cancelo, but Manchester City are moving forward, so referee Hooper says keep moving. We're in the 83rd minute. Last two times Manchester City have been here, remember, mentioned it in the first half, they won 2-1. Narrow wins last two visits. Currently it's 1-1. Here's De Bruyne on the left hand side. Haaland for Manchester City, Bailey for Villa, the goal scorers. See the highlights on Match of the Day tonight, repeated in the morning. Also you can watch them anytime on the iPlayer, as De Bruyne is just forced into conceding a little foul. It was the quick footwork actually by Ashley Young.
He did well, didn't he? Ashley Young, he read it, drawn the foul, stayed down, didn't disappoint. And another Villa player staying down, referee picking him up. I think that tells you he's not bringing anybody on to help him, but I say this would be a big result for Aston Villa under pressure that they're on. Steven Gerrard obviously feeling it, as he said. His supporters have not really been disgruntled, they've got behind the team. Can they see it out?
Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting to take your calls on 606, the famous 606, on 08085 909 693. Ball is with Martinez. Not sure what the problem was, but Martinez is showing absolutely no signs of being in any discomfort. Both managers have made just the two substitutions so far, Michael. So the ball bounces on the halfway line. Watkins plays it back to Ramsey. Ramsey's then, that's quite a heavy challenge, strong challenge by Diaz on him. Ball bounces away out of play for what is given only as a throw-in.
It was like the outside of his left foot, wasn't it? And then he just sort of drifted in. Now Riyad Mahrez, what can he bring?
Yeah, that high bar is quite high, isn't it, this season, that they talked about, the high threshold for challenges. Cancelo playing it to the left-hand side to Foden. Foden's little ball up to the edge of the penalty area, and then Foden goes back towards Ake near the halfway line. Steven Gerrard now, he's all animation. There are instructions being sent out there by the Aston Villa manager. Stones on the right hand side. Stones turns one way, then turns back, and he's setting off now down the right wing. John Stones still going. Coutinho's gone with him. Comes in field to Rodri, and then Rodri rolls the ball square to Nathan Ake, hair bobbing. Kevin De Bruyne currently more on the left hand side. Pass a little short, but Ake will get there first ahead of Bailey. Bailey's shirt, in fact all of the Villa shirts, we're so close we can see, absolutely soaked in perspiration. De Bruyne now. De Bruyne tries to pick out the pass over the top to the edge of the area. Mings got up, headed it down. It's bounced to Haaland. Foden back to Haaland. No, Konsa was able to intercept and twist and turn and clear away. And then Ake is all over the top of Bailey. That's not given us a free kick. And then Foden goes down under the challenge from Douglas Luiz. And it's a throw in, that's all.
Well done, the referee.
Letting
keep
it go.
Keep it going. That's what we want to see. Let's keep this game going.
Ball into the penalty area from Cancelo. Villa are able to clear on the edge of the box. Given away by Watkins. Rodri sets himself. Rodri shoots wide of the bottom corner and behind. Goal kick, Villa.
It was a scare. There was 4 players in front of Rodri. He sees it. He can't believe the space that opens up because of those runners. Just strike away. Martinez's right post just misses. It's disappointment from the players. We had Mahrez, Haaland, but again they're all having a go at the referee, but there wasn't much in those challenges. I think he got it right.
And for anyone who can't remember, might be too young to remember Michael playing, I think you can take it from those comments. You can decide for yourself what sort of midfielder Michael was.
Only slightly, John. Very mild.
Very mild. Very mild.
But you know what? We're looking at it. There wasn't that. It was both sides. Both.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it right.
Here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne passing it forward, but that's beyond anyone in a yellow and grey City shirt. Martinez comes, clears. Important saves from Martinez, weren't they? Now, when you look at them, as Bailey is shrugged off the ball by Cancelo down in the City left back area. Cancelo puts his foot on the ball. Cancelo, crossfield pass out to the right hand side. It's chested down by John Stones. Villa involved in a right contest here before the start of the group stage of the Champions League for Manchester City this week. Stones as well gives the ball out to Mahrez, who plays it infield, comes back to Ake, and now De Bruyne. De Bruyne plays it. Here's Rodri appearing on the left, and then Foden comes infield. Young's gone with him. Foden's passed to Haaland on the edge of the area. Gundogan now to Mahrez, shoots right across the face of goal and beyond the far post. But I think the flag was up. It was.
What a move.
So Mahrez must have just been offside.
What a move. Phil Foden, brilliant, runs inside instead of down the outside. Great ball across. Just as it falls, there's a little bit of an offside decision.
Gundogan.
Ilkay Gundogan in the build-up. He turns. We had Mahrez, tries to fizz the ball across. Not sure if it was cross shot. It goes past the post. There's another scare, but well done, the assistant referee on the far post, seeing the offside in the build-up.
Yeah, good call that by the assistant on the far side, Dan Robatham. VAR would have sorted it if City had been able to put it into the net. It would have been ruled out. However, it remains Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1. We're in the 89th minute. How many late goals have there been this season already? It's what the big clubs, that's what the champions do. Here's Ashley Young. Ashley Young now shielding it from Foden and clearing it downfield. Applause for Young. Buendia's going to be brought on by Steven Gerrard shortly. That's a positive move from the Villa manager. A sign there, him saying we can win this.
I'm not sure. I think he's maybe as well for the clock.
Foden with a cross in for Haaland. Haaland stretching, but he's beaten to it on the edge of the box by Camara, and it's out of play for a throw-in to City, 10 yards away from the corner flag. City have dropped points in only one match so far this season in the Premier League. The famous 3-3 draw at Newcastle. 1-0 up. They seem to be on their way to victory when they had that series of chances. Haaland, De Bruyne, another one for Haaland, the shot on the turn that was saved. De Bruyne shot wide, but they failed to find the net. And Leon Bailey with that super finish. Watch that on Match of the Day when you can. And Buendia's going to come on for the goal scorer, Bailey, when the ball next goes out of play. 45 minutes of the second half are up. The 90 minutes are up. Here, Cancelo into the penalty area. Ashley Young, Foden with a shot, saved by Martinez. Surely that must have been an offside flag against Cancelo there, who was trying to put it into the net. Very good stop from Martinez there from Foden.
Yes, it's going behind the goal, getting the supporters up, the goalkeeper. It was a good save, driving inside. Jack Cancelo made it difficult. And it's Phil Foden, great touch, hits it really, really quickly. The goalkeeper saves it. Yes, Jack Cancelo follows through in that offside position, but he's the change for Aston Villa. 4 added minutes as well. It's all going. Can they see this out, Aston Villa?
Emi Buendia, who's left out today, having started in midweek in the defeat at Arsenal. He's now onto the field, and Leon Bailey, the goal scorer, gets a great ovation. Well, he transformed his game in this match, there's no question about that. So Buendia is on. The score is 1-1. 5 Live from the BBC. Coutinho heads it on. Ake heads it away. Gundogan gets up. And now Foden works it out towards the left-hand side as City plays. City come forward from right to left, but De Bruyne's overhit that pass and it's through to Martinez. He'll certainly have a stake to be man of the match, Martinez, for the saves that he's made in the second half.
Yeah, some great saves as City came really, really strong. De Bruyne, Haaland having those chances. Phil Foden notably just a couple of moments ago, though the saves that keep you in it. But it's been a team performance. They've stuck at it, haven't they, Aston Villa? So when City looked like they were going to go and win comfortably. A couple of opportunities for Bailey and he puts that one away. It's a brilliant finish.
We've already had almost 2 minutes of the 4 that have been added on. 1-1. City could drop points, but Villa coming forward with Watkins, who plays it across to the near post. Goalkeeper Ederson leapt out. Whether he got a touch or whether a defender did, not absolutely certain. Coutinho is in there for Villa. Between them it was deflected away, and now Ederson with the ball. It
sort of ricocheted, didn't it? It was almost if it was going to hit Ederson. Coutinho go through. He's Kevin De Bruyne now.
Just keeps the ball in on the halfway line. Villa were claiming it was out. De Bruyne then floats the ball over the top to Gundogan, who takes it down in the box. Digne in with a challenge. Gundogan tackles, fouls Digne. It's a free kick to Aston Villa. And everything they get is being cheered by the Villa supporters, who are rattling the stanchions.
There you see, great counter. Kevin De Bruyne switches the ball really deep. The touch looked okay from Ilkay Gundogan, but then it hit his mid-drift. Digne recovered well. He's got his body in the way, draw the foul. There's precious moments at the end of this game there. They can just take the time. You can hear the supporters willing the team not to get beat against the champions. It'd be a huge result psychologically after a poor start for Steven Gerrard and this team.
Brilliant noise inside Villa Park now. That has switched and changed during the course of the match as well. We'll bring you commentaries from inside some of the most atmospheric stadiums in Europe in midweek when the Champions League resumes. You will hear Celtic, Real Madrid, Ajax, Rangers and Napoli, Liverpool, all 5 live commentaries Tuesday and Wednesday. But Manchester City with the ball inside their own half. John Stones, I think, is tripped by Coutinho and reacts there, but the free kick had been given, just got up, I think told Coutinho what he thought of him. So we are now deep into the 4th minute. Steven Gerrard just seconds away from what would be a really valuable point. Only their 4th of the season in the Premier League, but they're looking for more. Young plays it down the line to Watkins. Watkins holds it up. 2 City men are there with him. Diaz puts the challenge in. Watkins is still going. Great persistence. He's been helped now by little Buendia, and Buendia plays the ball into the space. Lots and lots of space on the left. Digne back to Ramsey, and they exchange passes, the 2 players on the Villa left.
They don't want to cross it, do they?
We're well into now the 5th minute of added time, and that's it. There's the final whistle, and against many expectations, Aston Villa have got something out of this match. Steven Gerrard has got only his 4th point of the season. A handshake with Pep Guardiola as Manchester City drop points for only the 2nd time during this campaign in the Premier League. 1-1, it's finished, Michael Brown.
Just the City were looking to take control in the second half and really putting that pressure on, chance after chance. You felt, and we mentioned it, didn't we, in commentary, if they had something to go at, if there'd be an opportunity, make a couple of changes and attacking areas. Well, it's actually Leon Bailey, who wasn't really in the game, got 1 chance away, and the next to come and swept the ball into the top corner. Atmosphere erupted, and then they had something to hold on to. City should have been better, should have seen the game off, but you've got to give credit to Aston Villa. Ashley Young probably made the difference when he came on. That bit of desire, that bit of know-how,
played really well.
It was really there. He did have a good performance, to be fair to him. And yes, you've got to give the credit to Aston Villa because they held on. They hadn't started, obviously, the season very well. Managed under pressure. It was a great ending to the game.
Yeah, a really important point for Steven Gerrard. Just shaking hands with the officials, and the cameras focusing on the Villa players as they head towards the tunnel. We'll bring you the interviews during the course of 6:06. But listen to the plays here. It's Hi-Ho, Aston Villa, and the final score here. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1. And it's time to talk about it all now with 6:06 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage.
Thanks so much, John. Fantastic.